Slice of pie. That intro is so stupid. I'm deliriously tired. I'm bad at doing my job as a YouTuber and making videos. Like, seriously, I am really bad at this. I'm pouring an energy drink because I'm recording this with a couple hours to spare before I have to go back to work. Well, technically, there's several hours, but I have to edit everything together because I have been busy. I had one day off and I spent it with Gamer Guts because that is kind of how relationships work. This weekend though, I have multiple days off, so I may be able to actually get some of my projects at least at a better point. I mean, I have the metal for the case mod. I have the tools for the case mod. I have a vlog in progress that I actually just recorded an update to. I just don't have any of the skating for it because still injured, sort of. Actually, I'm almost done with my injury. I think, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I should have gotten this thing checked out, but it didn't, so. Maybe I'm done with my injury, so then I may be able to get back out and skate again. But because I have been out of skateboarding for several weeks now, I have to at least have a warm-up session before I try to go to a spot. But that aside, all that stuff is happening. But this episode of Slice of Pie is actually not gonna be that much about me or even tech news. In fact, actually, this next segment and our last segment is going to be all about game news because holy cow, we had a Nintendo Direct and oh, this one was one of the better ones. This was definitely one of the better Nintendo Directs. And I just realized how stupid I am. I put the room temperature drink on the coaster and the ice cold glass on the table. Let's just jump into it. All right, so Nintendo Direct. We've got a lot of Switch news. Actually, it's just Switch news. There was no 3DS, no mention of the 3DS, and I'm pretty sure that's because the 3DS is pretty much dead. So, what do we have? Mario Maker 2. Like, that came out of nowhere. Well, actually, there was a bit of a rumor that one was coming. I'm gonna readjust myself. But Mario Maker 2, yeah, I'm excited for it. Actually, one of the only pieces of fan-made content for my channel was in the original Mario Maker. So I kind of have a soft spot for the Mario Maker games, and I kind of intend to do something with the game, especially because, as I said, there's a soft spot to it. And I may make a level, I may make a series of levels, and maybe I'll put people through it, or maybe I'll have my friends make levels and then I will go through whatever brutal hell they throw at me. So yeah, Mario Maker 2 is the thing. Box Boy plus Girl. The Box Boy series is cute, it's charming, it's been only on the 3DS, and this is just a further sign that the 3DS is dead. That's the only reason I want to touch on that, because pretty much it just says buy 3DS, because Box Boy is now on Switch. Okay. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is like a game nobody plays, yet it keeps on getting things. I actually have the original, and eventually I'll probably pick up the Switch version, but it's getting DLC, both free and paid for DLC, which is interesting nonetheless. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is pretty fun. I haven't tried it on the Switch, but I do remember it quite fondly from the Wii U days. And yeah, it's just a game that nobody plays, very few people care about, yet somehow keeps getting content. So good on you, Nintendo, for actually sticking to something, even if it's not the most popular game in the world. Bloodstained, we actually saw it. Looks like it's gonna come out soon. Character customization, okay, all that stuff. They decided to go with the 3D graphics over a 2D art style, which I could understand because 3D is technically, in the long run, easier than 2D. But both this and Mighty No. 9 kind of like switched away from 2D when they realized how hard it would be to actually do a fully drawn 2D game. That being said, This one actually looks pretty good. It reminds me a lot of some of the later Castlevania games, which is awesome because some of those games really are amazing. So I look forward to seeing this. I might play it earlier rather than later just to see how good it really is, since it is one of the big kickstarted projects. Dragon Quest. Now, Dragon Quest as a series and as a whole has sort of like shifted away from Nintendo, kind of like Final Fantasy. But we're getting Dragon Quest XI. Because why not? And we're also getting Dragon Quest Builders 2. So we're actually getting 2 Dragon Quest games this year. I'm impressed that Dragon Quest XI is going to be there, and Dragon Quest Builders 2 looks cute. It looks better than the first one, and there's a first-person mode, which means I can live out my Minecraft playstyle entirely in Dragon Quest, which, heck yeah, I want that, actually. Starlink is getting a free update, which actually adds more Star Fox, which, okay. I wasn't really expecting it, but Starlink is getting a whole quest to hunt down the Star Wolf, other team members other than Wolf, and a bunch of new characters, just Peppy, Slippy, Falco. Really cool, because as a whole, that game is just, it's stupidly expensive. Of course, the Toys to Life genre has always been stupidly expensive, but like, I own it. I owned it for Star Fox. I love the game. The game itself is great. The Toys to Life part of it, that's not so good. It's actually really, really nasty. Because once you start to pay for things, it's like, you can realize that you can pay like $120 additional on toys for a game that honestly I didn't expect to get as much support as it does. It really is a good game with a bad model. That's exactly how I would describe it. So to see the Star Fox stuff be free as free DLC for the game is awesome, because it means that there's actually going to be more pilots, and I think I saw a couple new vehicles, new versions of the R-Wing that you would not have received from day one. So you'll actually have an option to play the game without buying any of the additional ships. If you do, I recommend getting the digital ships, because those can be used at all times. Ubisoft wants you to carry around your toys to relink everything as soon as they get destroyed. So yeah, I have a lot to say about Starlink, but I think I'm going to do a full video about that, just because it's a difficult topic to really get through the entire thing. Rune Factory. Now, Rune Factory is a weird game series. The first Rune Factory, I played it from like the bargain bin. Like, honestly, I didn't know what it was. I got it cheap. It was the original Rune Factory. It was surprisingly difficult, and it was surprisingly deep. And that has held through all of them. Like, they've all been deep, pretty difficult. I think the only one that wasn't actually that hard was the Wii one. So for the most part, they've kind of stuck to the same formula through and through. Rune Factory 4 is getting ported to the Switch, and that version allowed you to marry monsters. So I can see why it was their most popular version thus far, if I remember correctly. They're also working on Rune Factory 5. To think about Rune Factory, it's like Harvest Moon and like Stardew Valley, but with like the straight Harvest Moon art style. It's, you get monsters, you get to raise monsters. As I told you, there's monster girls, there's marriage, there's townspeople that you can interact and marry. Apparently, the Switch version actually like goes deeper into married life. Okay, honestly, like that's interesting. So Rune Factory, if you are a fan, it's coming out. If you're not a fan, check it out. Honestly, I will say that the games are generally pretty good, and definitely always very cute. So yeah, that's all I can say about that one. Oniaki. Okay, this one. looks cool. Square Enix has been on a weird trend lately where they've been making unique artistic games. Oninaki looks like a continuation in that trend. What's really funny is like Nintendo, when they were like talking about it, were like, by the people of I Am Setsune and Octopath Travelers. And I'm like, wait, isn't that just Square Enix? Couldn't you have just said Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest? Point is, they have been making a lot of really high quality single player pixel art-y themed games, and to see that they're continuing to do that and push the envelope of what they would consider a normal game is pretty awesome, especially because a while back we had been talking about Square Enix not being able to produce enough games because they have such a high quality on their AAA games that they redo engine after engine after engine. They finally settled on Unreal Engine, and it's a great thing because that was a huge part of their cost. So it looks like Square Enix has actually come up with a way to make these cheaper games and then more expensive games, which is what I have been saying is a pretty viable business model for a while now. Either way, game looks cool, we'll be playing it. Yoshi, as we know, is already coming out. The Yoshi's Crafted World. That being said, if you have a Switch, go ahead and play the demo, see if you like it. I'm sure it's gonna be adorable. I'll download it and try it myself. Maybe I'll record that and throw that up this weekend. Either way, cute looking game, probably gonna be really easy since the last few Yoshi games have been, and the theme does not inspire difficulty. That being said, 100%ing these games is always a bit more difficult, and so that's where the real challenge comes from. Fire Emblem. Okay, I got a lot to say about this one. When I first watched the direct, the Fire Emblem, it reminded me of something, and I was like, why does this sound familiar? And then I thought even further, and then I watched it a second time, and then I was like, it feels like parts of the plot are ripped straight from Ruby. Oh, and once I saw that, I couldn't go back. And now I kind of want Fire Emblem Ruby Edition. Point is. Point. There is no point. It looks cute, very anime-y, kind of awesome, but yeah, I just get serious Ruby vibes, and I don't, maybe it's the whole academy theme, like they're going with this, you are a professor, which is gonna be weird because a huge part of Fire Emblem in most recent years has been around the relationship system. If you're the professor, I know they're just going to leave the relationship system in, but you don't see a problem with that? There's no conflict of interest. It's an interesting setup, but yeah, for some reason, Rooster Teeth's Ruby is the only thing that comes to mind, and I don't know why. Now, the segment of games that I would have never have thought would have made it onto the Switch. Let's start. Dead by Daylight. That game doesn't run well on PC. How does it run well on Switch? I don't know if it runs well on Switch. It did look like they changed the art style ever so slightly to make it work with the console, but that's cool. If you can get that game on there, absolutely. Hellblade, how? How did you get that on there? It looked the same, but they may have just been playing footage from the trailer. Granted, everyone else seemed to be playing footage from the actual Switch builds, so if that's the case, how? How did you get this game to run like that on a Switch? I want to know. Please tell me, as an indie dev who needs help, please tell me how you did that. Mortal Kombat 11. Again, I would have never expected that one. We heard rumors of it, and I was like, yeah, it could happen. Mortal Kombat did have a Super Nintendo version where they had to make the blood look like sweat. But, that being said, Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. And then Grid. That's the other one. That one actually looked really bad, I'm gonna be honest. I hope it's just because of them not properly utilizing rendering technologies. That one had some pretty tough edges. That being said, games, all these games that I've just listed in here, I did not expect to run well on the Switch, and I did not expect to be ported to the Switch. So good on you, developers, who somehow got those working on the Nintendo Switch. All right, and before we get into the really big news, the last pieces, because this has been mostly in chronological order, I do want to mention a couple of interesting bits. Deltarune had the greatest trailer ever. The spoiler-free dog trailer is now one of my favorite trolls ever. Good job, Toby. Like that one was brilliant. Well done. Assassin's Creed 3 is getting re-released on the Switch with the Wings of Liberty, or it's all the DLC plus the one that takes place in Louisiana. Okay, kind of cool. Somehow it doesn't look as good as the Wii U version, but that might just be that it needs a bit more optimization. Again though, okay, 3 it is. I mean, 4 is better, but I'm okay to get 3. And Damon X Machina is getting a demo, and I think it's actually out now. It's a limited time demo, so try it, see what you think. They really want feedback about how the game plays, which is why I am going to play it, because I have been following this game because it looks so much like Xenoblade Chronicles X, and so I am excited for it. So if I do get picked for that survey, I will be happy to give them some feedback. All right, now. 2 more big announcements kind of came up, and I do mean big. Platinum Games has been working on a new game. They did confirm that Bayonetta 3 is still in development, but this new game is called Astral Chain, and it looks fun. It looks, again, I keep going back to Xenoblade, but it seems that like the Xenoblade art style has like bled into things. It looks, again, kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Xenoblade 2 with like the whole partner system, but it looks like it's in a hack and slash. So it looks really cool. I am really looking forward to it. I've been digging Platinum's latest work, so they've been doing a good job since Nier Automata, Bayonetta 2. I'm sure Bayonetta 3 is gonna be great. This one looks good. So good on you, Platinum. I am really looking forward to this. And then the big drop, and the one from the rumor that I was like, there's no way in hell this is gonna happen. Link's Awakening is getting remastered for the Switch using a very unique art style. It looks, again, like toys. Like, it's so interesting how Nintendo's been like doing this kind of like mixed media approach to video games, but the new Link's Awakening looks very surreal, very much like the actual premise of the game. Of course, there's Mario enemies in there, and it looks honestly great. And then the soundtrack. The soundtrack is what stuck the most with me, because they've obviously redone it since the original one was on the Game Boy, to the point that it sounds so good. Now, of course, I'm sure they're going to do a little bit more tweaking and refinement on the style, but for the most part, I think it is going to remain the same. I'm excited about this, but I am a Zelda fan. I have a Master Sword. I am pointing. Yeah, I am. There. I have a Master Sword. I actually have 2 Master Swords. The other one's up there. Point is, Zelda fan. Oh yeah, there's also Zelda posters. Wow, I went through a lot of effort to point to the swords and didn't even realize that like both posters on the wall are Zelda. Point is, I'm a Zelda fan. I've actually played every single game, and Link's Awakening is actually one of the ones that I thought really needed to be remade. And it's because the Game Boy was limited in its hardware, so certain things about games on the Game Boy is they're really hard to revisit. So having it again on the Switch, amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all this stuff. Thank you guys for watching me ramble for a good amount of time about video games. Holy cow. I'm not gonna make any promises that I'm actually gonna get any work done, because I fully intend to play Kingdom Hearts 3 this weekend as well. That Keyblade over there on the wall. That one? Yeah. I like pointing to things on my wall. Yeah, I've been a Kingdom Hearts fan for a while, so I intend to play it. I don't really intend to record it. I mean, I could, actually. Maybe I will. We'll see. I may play 1 through 3 all the way through. That actually sounds like a pretty fun endeavor. I digress. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Of course, I know you guys want to see more skateboarding. I'm almost healed up. I will bring more skateboarding. I actually have a skate spot that's like really sick that I've been waiting to skate until I've been healed. So yeah, I digress again. Thank you guys again. Wolfie out.